Welcome to A Financial Advisor and Pastor Walk into a Bar, Revelation Part 20. In this episode, Pastor Jason and financial advisor Benjie continue their conversation on Revelation chapter 5 and take a closer look at the reaction of those in the throne room as Jesus takes the scroll. Let's listen in.
As you're talking, I'm re-envisioning this in my own mind, and it excites me because if you take that understanding that when there is a will or a deed to a possession, and it has the 7 seals on it, and the only person that can break that is the one who wrote that will or deed, or the representative of the family who has the member of the family who's now deceased.
Yeah.
If you know that and you understand the implication of this at that time, and then all of a sudden this lamb just comes walking up and grabs that, as you said.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all of a sudden the reality hits that we've been waiting for him.
Yeah.
And he's here. And look, he knows his position. He knows his place. He knows who he is. And we see by the fact that, you know, we're going to see the sliced neck. You know, it says that one who was sacrificed, like a lamb who was sacrificed. You see the visual representation, you know, the blood upon the wool and everything. Then all of a sudden you recognize and you realize that he has done what only he could do.
Yeah.
And now everything we've been waiting for is getting ready to go in high gear. And we're getting ready. The process is starting.
Yeah.
And you know, when you think about God's creation from the very beginning, God made his throne room, his place of worship where he could be amongst his people. He made that in the garden. The garden was his place to be among his people. And so when sin entered, he had to remove the people from his place where he would dwell with them.
Yeah.
And he removed his throne room, if you will, his permanent throne room from earth as well. And so that's later we had to see the temple being built and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But earth was God's place where heaven, you know, his presence, heaven, would be interacting with his people. And now all of a sudden, the separation that has separated us for so long from the physical presence of God is about to be restored.
There's a lot of anticipation.
Yeah, Jesus is creating that process, or starting that process with this action. And now all of a sudden, all of humanity, dead and still alive, who are in Christ, are going to be back in the presence once again of their Creator, of their God. I mean, this is a big thing that they're...
Yes,
and so it causes them just to fall down and worship.
I can see that now. I'm trying to get, you know, I was trying to go and relate it to something in my head, and why would they fall down and worship? It's because of the realization of what they're seeing take place, and it's kind of matching the knowledge that they have.
Yeah.
You know, being in that perspective of being in the throne room, they know how all of this is real.
Yeah.
Now, having a perspective from where I'm at, I don't have that same conviction, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yep.
I was smiling when you had mentioned one of these two illustrations popped into my head. I have to go and share it because it's funny. So you talked about deeds and will, I think, and a will. Think of like a will they're waiting around. So I think of, you know, after a funeral when they call the family in, they go and say, "Hey, we got the reading of the will." And I just think of these movies where you've got people that are just standing around waiting, "Come on, let's do this." You know,
tell me what I get.
Yeah,
What do I get?
Exactly. What is going on?
I only get that?
You know? Yeah, and then all of a sudden here comes, I don't know who's supposed to be reading it, maybe the lawyer who finally comes in, he's walking up, and then he opens up the briefcase and says, "All right, let's start." And then different reactions in the room, right? The people who are waiting and were waiting because they wanted to get something are finally, right? And then there's the people that maybe in anticipation of something, but not necessarily about getting something. It's like, okay, we're moving along. But I just keep laughing about that idea with Jesus coming and just like strutting and grabbing that scroll. All right, let's do this.
It's time to read it.
Let's do this. But the other illustration that came into my head was The Matrix. So,
Okay.
Keanu Reeves. And
First one?
First one.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, go ahead.
And I forgot what Fishburne's character's name was.
I was getting ready to say a name, and Mr. Miyagi came to mind. Like, it's not Mr. Miyagi.
Not quite.
God, what is his name? Okay, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. But that was like 20 years ago. So
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, we've slept since then.
Yeah. I'm gonna have
Morpheus.
There you go.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah. So
I was close. Miyagi was close. I had the M. Yeah.
Both M's. All right. So Morpheus he knows that there's the one that's out there, and he's been looking for him. And then I forgot what had opened his eyes, but something had opened his eyes to go and realize he's the one. And it was just this, all along the way, you see the enthusiasm and anticipation that he has with what he thinks is going to come, because he knows it's supposed to come, and he's starting to realize it's about to happen.
Yeah.
And then something takes place, and it's him. He's the one, like I said. And he's just got this look of excitement, anticipation is ended. He's relieved as well. And that's the thought that I'm thinking. All these people that are up in the throne room know that this is going to happen. They just don't know when it's going to happen. And they know who's going to do it, but they still don't know when it's taking place. And they start realizing, as John is witnessing this at the same time, that, oh, it is happening now. And he goes and grabs it, and it is happening. This is the time.
Yeah.
And we're going to go. And all this to go and say that the enduring of whatever it is that they had to endure, coming to the realization that it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
All of this is coming to the end, and we're all, like you said, heaven and earth are going to come together again. We're going to be able to commune like we were supposed to.
Yeah.
And it's happening. So that I thought that was kind of wild image in my head when I was listening to that. All that from verse 8.
Yeah. Packs a punch, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
So maybe a little bit more on the harp and the harp, really. I get an idea of the golden bowls, but I don't know what the harp's about.
I was afraid you were going to ask that. And I am trying to remember, because if memory serves me correctly, when I studied this the first time through, and unfortunately I didn't write it down, so I don't know why I didn't. The harp was more than just what I initially thought it was. I just thought, this instrument of peace.
Okay.
This instrument of just beautiful music playing. Mm-hmm. But there was something more to it, and it wasn't so significant that it was like, oh my gosh, this just changed everything. But there was more to it than just this instrument piece.
Okay.
And so it was kind of cool. But yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't ask that. So, no.
Well, the theme of peace, and you said something else, the instrument of, I don't know what. It just kind of reminded me of,
the instrument of war. Talking about the horn?
No, of harp specifically, because you said it's the instrument of peace, and then I'd have to kind of rewind to go and see what it was you said. But it just reminded me of, okay, so that's David, right, with his harp, and that's what he did for Saul. He played the harp to give him peace and to calm him down, right? So, but not to make a tie there that isn't there. I'm just thinking out of my head. Though. Yeah. So, all right. So we'll go on to verse 9. It says, "And they sang a new song, saying, 'Worthy are you to take the scroll and to break its seals, for you were slaughtered, and you purchased people for God with your blood from every tribe, language, people, and nation. You have made them into a kingdom and priests to our God, and they will reign upon the earth.'" So, proclamation by everyone that was witnessing. They were singing this. Is that what's going on?
So this was the 24 elders and the Lamb. So there were, in chapter 5, there's these basically 6 proclamations that are being made by the different groups of people, whether it be the elders or an elder or the 4 creatures. But yes, this is the one that I think as I was listening to you read it again, what's interesting there is in verse 10, "You made them a kingdom and priests to our God, and they will reign on the earth." thinking back about the very thing that God wanted to do in the Old Testament, or did do, but yet the people continued to fail at it. But the whole thing was he wanted to make them, or he did make them, into a kingdom. The nation of Israel was its own kingdom.
Yeah.
Not just a religion, but it was also a kingdom.
Okay.
And he created a priesthood within that kingdom, the Levitical priesthood.
All right.
And their whole function was to lead the people in worship. So that way the nation could continue to be this godly kingdom.
Yeah.
And so here it is, seeing the fulfillment of that as God, or as the elders and the four beasts are saying, hey, you've made them into this kingdom. You've called them to be priests unto you. So
okay.
yeah.
And they're singing this.
Sing
Right?
it, yeah.
Okay. Again, the idea of singing with harps 1 year in heaven.
Yeah.
But I think a point you made the last time is that that's not us. This is specific to the elders that were in the throne room, and so
Yeah.
it's not like it's telling us that that's what we'll be doing too, which is good because I don't sing very well.
Yeah. Me neither.
All right. The next up, angels exalt the Lamb. All right, so this is 11. Then I looked and I heard the voices of many angels around the throne and the living creatures and the elders. I'm going to stop there. So these angels just appeared out of nowhere and just said, all right, let's join the party.
Must have that, or they were there the whole time. We don't really know.
Yeah, they don't. I guess we can make that assumption too, that just because they didn't say that doesn't mean that they weren't there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then the number of them was myriads. Is that how you say it? Myriads?
Myriads? Let's see. My version says something different, but mine says countless thousands plus thousands of thousands.
That sounds good.
But myriads, yeah. Infinity, a number of infinity.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slaughtered to receive power, wealth, wisdom, might, honor, glory, and blessing.
Yeah. So what was neat in that, as the angels are singing, there's 7 things that were listed in the midst of their singing, that they're acknowledging and honoring God for, specifically the power, the riches, the wisdom, the strength, the honor, the glory, the blessing. So these 7 things are all things that they are saying, you are worthy to, Jesus the Lamb, you are worthy to receive these all. Because all things were made through you, and just like we do with a tithe, the tithe is not our money that we're giving to God so gracious, so humbly, if you will. The tithe is God's money to us. Our income is His money to us.
Yeah.
That we just get to give back to Him because it was already His in the first place.
Right.
And so here it is with these things of power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing. All these things were always due to Him anyways.
Yeah.
Because everything is created through Him, and so it's just a matter of giving Him what was already due to Him.
Okay.
So
returning back. All right. And then 13 is, and I heard every created thing. Let me try that again. And I heard every created thing which is in heaven or on the earth, or under the earth or on the sea, and all the things in them saying, to Him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb be the blessing, the honor, the glory, and the dominion forever and ever. And the 4 living creatures were saying, Amen. And the elders fell down and worshiped.
Yep.
So I'm trying to take a step back and see what's taking place. So Jesus, in the form of the Lamb, comes up, takes the scroll from the Father. He hasn't broken it, right? He hasn't broken the seals yet.
He hasn't broken any seals yet.
Okay, and so this is all the reaction from the throne room, the elders, the 4 living creatures, and now including the angels. Didn't say the number of the angels, right?
No, the myriad, the countless
Just thousands of
yeah.
thousands. How many angels are there?
We have no clue.
Okay. But when Satan left, he took, did it say a number? Like a...
That's a great question.
Not necessarily a number, but like a percentage?
There was and what we also see is, and and I can't remember if it was just before this or just after this. I'm trying to get my. It was after this, I believe. There, it was when the dragon comes and the tail whips the stars, and it says, I think it was a third of the stars. I may be wrong in that. I can't remember.
Oh, that's a reference to the angels.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we get from that is not an exact amount or even an exact percentage, but this understanding that there was a large number of angels who chose to follow Satan instead of continuing to follow God.
Gotcha.
And so that's why even when you see the story of the demoniac, that's in the New Testament, Jesus, they come over to the Gerasenes, and the demoniac is in the tombs. And Jesus interacts and says, "What is your name?" And they said, "We are legion, for we are many."
Okay.
So, a legion in a Roman perspective, as a legion army, I think was 1,000, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I believe a legion was 1,000. And he says, we are legion, for we are many. And so there's the idea that, okay, there's a lot of demons just within this man.
Okay.
And not every demon is within that man. There are many more. So there thousands, millions. We don't know how many angels there were in creation.
Right.
But a large swath of them have been brought over to, or have chosen to follow Satan.
And those demons that were in that man, was that the same story where they were casted out into the pigs?
Yes, so that the pigs went off and drowned in the lake. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I hear a lot of stories on that as to why people were upset, because you destroyed their economy.
Yep.
So it must have been a lot of pigs, right?
Yep.
So which means there were a lot of demons that had gone out, and a third of this number that is described here in Revelation is a lot.
Yeah. And don't quote me on it being a third.
Yeah.
If memory serves me correctly, it was a third of the stars, but I could be wrong in that.
I do remember that part in Revelation.
Revelation 12 verses 3-4. Then another sign appeared in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his heads were 7 diadems. And his tail swept away a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth, he might devour her child.
So 5 is basically this idea that a sentencing is coming. Well, we don't know that. It's not introduced as to what is in the scroll at this point, right?
Yes.
It's just that there's a scroll that has 7 seals on it. John is worried that nobody is able to break the seals to open the scroll. And then Jesus comes to go and take the scroll. And does Jesus say anything in here?
No, doesn't say a word.
He just takes it.
Yep.
And then everybody in the room knows what's going on. And then when he takes it, another image is like there's a gasping.
He's here.
And then they drop to the floor and worship, because it's all this anticipation that this thing is about to happen, and it's actually taking place, right? Everybody seems to be worshiping it, and worshiping the fact that the seal is going to open up, and then also worshiping Jesus, being the one that's able to do it. And wow, that's interesting to see that it was a whole chapter just to talk about that one specific thing taking place.
Yeah.
But then again, you said before, we stuck the chapters in there, so this is kind of just like a dialogue. Or not a dialogue, just a description of what's been going on since John entered the throne.
You've been listening to Financial Advisor and Pastor Walk Into a Bar. As always, Benjie and Jason raise more questions than answers, because God has a message for you, and you're not going to hear it unless you open the Bible and read it for yourself. Thanks for listening.